Well, hey there. Welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. I'm the mom and I do the movie reviews. And my goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so you can decide if you want to spend time or money or both sometimes watching a particular film. So today, the movie I'm reviewing is called Tripped Up, this Gen Z gal pal comedy. Came out in theaters a couple of months ago and is now available on video on demand. Now, I know it's 2024 and I am still trying to catch up on 2023 movies. Towards the end of the year, I had foot surgery and was in bed with my foot elevated and iced for 3 weeks. And then Christmas came. And anyway, so I'm still scrambling to catch up. So, this movie is rated R. It's an hour and 36 minutes. And my overall movie review mom grade is a C plus. So now let me explain how I came up with that. I'll give you an overview in a nutshell. I'll give you tips for parents, themes worth talking about, interesting lines, funny lines, things I liked, things I didn't like, and recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that you might also like if you enjoy this one. All right, you ready to dive in? Me too. So the story is about four young women in their 20s who take a road trip so that one of them can compete in a prestigious saucy food festival. Sounds good, right? What begins as a calculated career move quickly turns into a madcap misadventure full of food, fun, and female bonding. The film was directed by Shruti Ganguly. On a personal note, I used to teach classes at the famous Le Cordon Bleu Culinary College here in Las Vegas, where I live. So I was especially interested in the foodie element of this story. And yes, I have the weight gain to prove that I actually taught at a cooking school. All right, let me give you some tips for parents. This is not an appropriate movie for kids for several reasons. First of all, there is profanity, including many F bombs. There's an unmarried couple who sleeps together. A girl pleasures herself in bed with a vibrator under the covers. One of the girls uses a bong and smokes at work and everywhere else, including while she's driving a car, constantly smoking something. A lot of crude conversations about intimate relations, lots of alcohol. One of the characters is in Alcoholics Anonymous that we learn later on in the film. There are unwanted sexual advances, poop humor. Two of the characters are lesbians and we see them kiss, and a girl flips the bird. So, for that and other reasons, as if that's not enough, it's just not an appropriate movie for kids. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well are friendship, racism, road trips, foodies, victim status, respecting yourself and other people, rivalry, secrets, life choices and consequences, hard work, mentors to guide the younger generation, and making your dreams come true. All right, now there were a lot of things I did like about the movie. For example, the cast of the talented starlets includes Leah Lewis, Ashley Moore, Ariel Winter, and Sasha Fox. They have really good chemistry together and they hold the movie together well. I thought that they did a good job. And there's a variety of personalities that just added a fun touch. Other cast members include Vanessa Williams and Judy Gold. So it was fun to go back in time and see some of those familiar faces and actors. A minor character was a fantastic lead in the Netflix musical called Prom. She is so talented, and so I would have loved to see her play a much bigger role in this film. Her name is Jo Ellen Pellman. She played a lesbian in both movies, and in real life, she actually does identify as queer. She came out to her mother, who is also gay. Jo Ellen is now engaged to filmmaker Bertie O'Connor. And again, I just think she's so great and has such a beautiful voice, but we don't get to hear her sing in this movie. So that was a shame. There's a lovely musical number between two of the other characters, Sasha Fox and Justin Guarini. He actually sang on American Idol and on Broadway. We get to see a lot of delicious looking food, and the movie is going to make you hungry. All of the characters learn some important lessons about life, and I'm always looking for character growth in a film. I was impressed by one of the characters who readily admitted that she was an alcoholic and was attending Alcoholics Anonymous and rejected all of the drinks that she was offered by her clueless friends who didn't even notice. It was sad to see such a young alcoholic, but I was impressed that she was admitting to her weaknesses and taking proactive steps to conquer her addiction. And so that was a good role model. She actually was the best role model, I think, in the whole film. And keep watching during the rolling credits for some bloopers and some other clips. I love that, especially in comedies. I feel like that should be a rule. You should have bloopers or outtakes or something. Now, with all of that praise, there were some things that I didn't like. First of all, the girls act like a bunch of crass young bros. And they're girls. So, what is wrong with being feminine these days? I don't know young women that just have potty mouths like guys do in films, and it's supposed to be so funny. And in girls, it's just ugly and unattractive. Now, maybe that sounds sexist to you, but like they're all sitting there smoking and drinking, or smoking, drinking, hitting the bong, and that's like something you see in a frat house. And so I was like, really? Is that what you want to be, girls, young women? Anyway, that's the mother in me coming out for sure. So please tell me that Gen Z young women are not like these entitled, irresponsible, self absorbed, foul mouthed girls. Now, I know Gen Z girls. I know a lot who are nothing like the girls that are represented in this movie. And that gives me hope for the next generation. All of the girls have multiple outfit changes in a single day. And I always think that's a little unrealistic. Young girls who are impressionable age, look at that and think, oh, I guess I'm supposed to be a Barbie doll and change my outfit for, every hour. At least that's what I did with my Barbie dolls, and I was just like, we have to be really careful what we show these young women who are growing up. There's a hot dog eating contest as part of the festivities of this food festival. And I just, yuck. I have not eaten a hot dog since I read the book, The Jungle by Upton Sinclair in high school. Now, I get it. That book was written during the Industrial Revolution, and our food preparation facilities and factories are much better now, but still, it just grossed me out and I can't get past the image. So, anyway, I just thought that was kind of a funny moment while they were watching it. The whole time I was like, whoa, and here it's supposed to be, classy, upscale, new type of food for foodies, and there they are eating hot dogs. Anyway, ultimately, the movie is very predictable. Not to say that's a bad thing, just that it is very cliched and very predictable. Now, there are a few little fun touches, obviously, that make it somewhat fresh. But just giving you a scoop on the content, just so you know. Now, I always write down funny lines and interesting lines while I'm watching the movies, but instead of funny lines, I'm going to tell you 3 lines that I wrote down. And on my written review at moviereviewmom.com, I'm calling this category terrible advice from some characters. So, one of the girls, named Mary, she's played by Ashley Moore, she says to great advice that she offers to one of her friends is, sounds like you just need to get laid. Now, doesn't that sound like something that would be spoken in a frat house? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And then another time, she's just full of gems. She says, you need to just take a hit and chill, as she's holding the bong. And I'm like, again, shouldn't that be in a frat house in a conversation? Anyway, and then there's another character whose name is Lizzie, played by Leah Lewis. And she says, why is it a big deal? Just tell him to beep off. Now, I don't swear, so that's why I said beep. They're all so foul mouthed and they've got this attitude, who cares? And I should do whatever I want kind of thing. And that's frightening for a young generation who's not willing to work hard. Now, I say that, and there's a young character who is a hard worker. She wants to be a chef. And so we see her working hard, whereas the other ones, not so much. In fact, we don't see the other ones working at all. And then another character whose name is, or who's played by Ariel Winter, she says, I could probably smoke a little less weed, vape a little less often, but I wouldn't be as awesome. Okay, again, I get it. This is not, I am not the target audience for this movie. This is a mother reacting. Now, I did write down an interesting line. This one was spoken by Vanessa Williams, and she says, sometimes you need crazy to be great. And at first I was like, that's terrible advice. And then I thought, well, crazy in the sense that you're willing to try new things. And she's giving advice to this young chef, saying, look at things differently, try new things, be creative, be willing to think outside the box. And I think all of that is really good advice. All right, so while I was watching this movie, I instantly thought of three films that I wanted to tell you about. So the first one is called Sitting in Bars with Cake. And I actually just reviewed that in 2023 when it came out. I think it was on Netflix. And it's two young women, roommates. One of them is a bakery artist, I guess you could say, but she's very shy. And her friend is very outgoing. And so they go into bars to meet guys under the guise of, hey, you want a free piece of cake kind of a thing, which sounds like just kind of a fun, silly, surface level film. However, some stuff happens that takes it to a whole other level. And so I really liked that one. Now, another excellent one that I just love is an older one called The 100-Foot Journey, starring Helen Mirren. She is such a national treasure. I just adore her. And it's about an Indian chef coming to, let me think, I think they're in France, and he meets this British woman. I think, is she French or British? I can't remember now, who's played by Helen Mirren. Anyway, she's fantastic. And they have a little riff, and then they start to come together. It's a beautiful, beautiful film. So I love that. And if you're a foodie, you'll definitely appreciate that one because they've got a little restaurant competition going on, and there's talk of Michelin stars. And then the last one that I picked is called Joy. It's actually based on a true story and is about a young woman who is trying to make her way in the world and start a company. And it's actually really well done. It stars Jennifer Lawrence, and it, I think, kind of flew under the radar for most audiences when it first came out. So again, I'm just thinking about the young entrepreneurial spirit, and that's definitely seen in that film. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.